So I have to say that we are not satisfied with the earnings. Obviously, there's a significant increase in profits, but if you were to take that licensing income out, and that's not a regular feature with Lupin yet, and we'll talk about that a little bit more, but if you were to take that out, you actually see a gross margin decline, and then you see correspondingly an EBITDA decline as well. And our two big markets are the US and India. Talking about the US, so from Q4 to Q1, we actually had a decline in the US, driven by more competition in one of our key products, driven by slower ramp up in albuterol, and then some amount of pricing pressure as well. In India, the growth was very solid. The Indian market grew significantly, and in our segment, we grew faster than the Indian market. So good growth story around the world. The US is in a state of repair. I think that will continue in Q2, but in the second half, we see a very strong US performance. And obviously, we expect significant EBITDA improvement with that.
I believe you launched 15 new products last year in the United States. What's the tally like this year? Or what's the pipeline looking like this year?
It's going to be a similar number. But I think the two big products to watch out for, one is albuterol, our first inhalation product that we launched. We're still in ramp up mode there. We have about 12% market share. Our target is to get to that 18-20% market share. I believe we'll be there in the second half. We're ramping up through August as well. But in the second half, that becomes a very solid number. We also partnered on a very nice authorized generic, Brovana, just this past quarter. And that, again, will see a significant ramp up. So you see that inhalation business becoming a meaningful part of the US business. Other than that, I think it's an assortment of products, a bunch of oral solid products. But, all in all, a nice set of new launches coming up.
Yeah, I also wanted to touch upon your subsidiary's acquisition of Southern Cross Pharma in Australia. Apparently, you're looking at building market share there. So you've said that the prominent markets for you, of course, are the US and India. But what about expansion into other geographies and inorganic growth opportunities?
Sure. So not problem markets. Those are our big markets, the US and India. Australia, we're very happy with what we built. We're number 4 in Australia with the acquisition of Southern Cross. Really enables us to get to double the size of what we are in the next 2 years. And we'll still be number 4. There's a big gap between number 3 and number 4, but it firmly entrenches us in that it's a business which grows nicely, EBITDA much higher than the company average EBITDA as well. And again, we want to bring our portfolio there. We want to bring inhalation products there. We want to bring biosimilar products there. We're very happy with our position in Australia. Likewise, if I was to go to some of the other markets, South Africa, for example, we have a very strong presence there. Brazil, Mexico, again, budding presence is there. So the Lupin strategy is really to focus on 10 markets, go deep in those 10 markets. The US and India are the two big ones, but Brazil, Mexico, South Africa, Philippines, Australia, these are the ones where we would bolt in little acquisitions as well. We remain interested in China. Again, in the last year, obviously, that took quite a setback. But with our inhalation portfolio, we can't ignore a market like China.
Okay, I want to wrap up, Nilesh, by asking you a big picture question in terms of all the great plans that you have outlined for your business. What is the biggest headwind out there, that you foresee, the biggest challenge that can impact growth?
Sure. So I think our biggest market is, at one level, our biggest challenge. The US has structurally changed as far as customers are concerned. It's 3 or 4 customers that control the market. It's competitive at the low end. So if you look at the regular oral solids and the like, there's a fair degree of competition there. So the move to complex generics, and a lot of these are getting approved by the FDA for the first time. That is a challenge because you don't have that clarity on how these products would get approved, and you have to work with the agency on that. Coupled with that is the compliance story. I think these are the two pieces, move to complex generics, the compliance story. These are the parts that we absolutely have to get right.